It's just nature seems to find mutual benefits, right?
Yeah, it does. Um, I think the thing that's perplexing for me about these kind of examples is, effectively the ant's dead, but it's staying alive now because it's piloted by this fungus.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gets back to this, thing that we were talking about a few minutes ago about how the boundary of life is really hard to define. So, anytime that you want to draw a boundary around something and you say, this feature is the thing that makes this alive, or this thing is alive on its own, there's not ever really a clear boundary. And these kind of examples are really good at showing that because it's like the thing that you would have thought is the living organism is now dead, except that it has another living organism that's piloting it. So the two of them together are alive in some sense, but they're, now in this kind of weird symbiotic relationship that's taking this ant to its death.
So what do you do with that in terms of when you try to define life?
I think we have to get rid of the notion of an individual as being relevant. And this is really difficult because, a lot of the ways that we think about life, like the fundamental unit of life is the cell, individuals are alive, but we don't think about how gray that distinction is. The self-sustaining one is really interesting, thinking about humans, right? Like we're not self-sustaining, we're dependent on societies. And so, I find it paradoxical that, it might be that societies, because their self-sustaining units are now more alive than individuals are. No organism is really self-sustaining. They always require an environment. So being self-sustaining is coupled in some sense to the world around you. We don't live in a vacuum.